Well, I'll say one thing. This film is a must see. I write and I record and report for many outlets, but this is right on digital. And I think it's very important for young people to see this film for a variety of reasons. Beginning of the film is definitely something they need to see. And the end of the film is just so exquisite. It's sad. I mean, I cried throughout most of the film, but I feel that there were just so many messages that came out. And one of the messages that I'd like you all, to, both of you, to speak about is the fact that even though this was the story of a Black man and what happened to his son, once you were inside the actual police precinct and you had access to some of the other prisoners who were of other ethnicities, various conversations started developing. And those conversations were important because of the fact that it showed how people really felt. Sometimes people's actual feelings are hidden because of where they work or because they don't think it's appropriate. But everything just
Mhm.
came out in the wash. Nate, can you first speak about that?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, Cynthia. We've never been able to engage law enforcement ever. What we get, even when they kill us, is them leaving. They go away and they come back with their story, sometimes weeks later. And unfortunately, the healing that needs to happen is subverted instantly because it's shrouded in this the secrecy of the systemic device. And so for this film, it was really hijacking the system to force the conversation that we talk about that has actually never been had. You know, this is not the conversation that happens when they say, oh, well, the police threw a barbecue in the worst neighborhood. That's not the conversation. It's not, because the next day, like, man or woman could have gotten killed. You know, the reality is without honest confrontation, there will be no healing. But for there to be healing, there has to be honest confrontation. So what I wanted to do with the film is create this space that was safe by virtue of the hostage situation, where people had no choice but to tell the truth. And out of that, I think the healing device was able to start within us as a people, within the inmates that were on the jury, people that have never been represented. You know, most people don't understand. I worked with Scott Butnick and ARC, Anti-Recidivism Coalition, to use some of our returning citizens in the film. So a lot of those men that were sitting there as inmates had been inmates. Some have just come home. But what I said to them, I said, if you could represent your humanity to an officer, what would you say? What would that look like? What would that feel like? And you could see the emotion welling up in these strong men in their eyes because they never had an opportunity to represent their humanity to one of these peace officers, security, guards, whatever you want to call it. So the energy in the room was palpable because this was a scenario that just simply has never happened. Even to hearing the Black woman who was a cop, I want to say she was Hispanic, Afro-Hispanic, talking about how women are marginalized, not only in life, but within the police departments. Everyone got a space to represent their humanity. And I think that is the first step of healing, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're right. Omari, we're going to have to wrap it up, but
Yeah, he
can you
answered
please
he answered it to me, Cynthia. I think that Nate did a great job of creating a theater in the round. Um, Anyone in that space of that room that he's speaking about, we all were obviously cast to play particular characters, but we all became a part of the audience, if you will. It was theater in the round, literally. So you're all a part of that conversation. And from a director's standpoint, it's a golden nugget of what a director who's great is trying to get a great to good to average actor to do, and that being to use these you have two of these for a reason. God only gave you one of these. And so we were forced to have to really listen, not only to castmates representing these different and differentiating factions of the forces that bind us to the criminality of America, the forces that bind us to the inequities of America. All of these things he was able to show in a very visual space, and we were forced to be even audience members looking and listening to these conversations. And you know, you almost give a person, or hopefully when this movie comes out, we've given permission for people to know how to heal. Because even as people cast in these characters, Nate was directing us, heal. While the camera's on you, heal. Whatever that looks like. From an inmate standpoint, from my brother's standpoint, which is the character I play, you know, sort of the uncle figure to Nate's son, but also the brother to him who was a platoon mate when we were in the military together. He's basically saying, when I put the camera on you, let yourself heal. And that'll give the audience and at large an opportunity for them to know how to heal equally. So definitely, that's the takeaway. Heal. Healing is the big takeaway.
Okay, well, thank you all for doing such a wonderful job, and anything that we can do to help you promote this project, we certainly will.
Well, I'll let you know. Just make sure please make sure your audience knows that wherever you rent movies, you'll be able to get this film, and that you can go to socials and see where it's playing in theaters or drive-ins, you know, because you know, like anything else, people have to see it and engage it for us to be able to have the conversation that can get us to that place of healing.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Bye-bye.